Good morning, Funmi. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and of course, we like to welcome you all to a Saturday that is specially special.
Indeed, it's special.
Yes, very special. My name is Jadisola Ajibola, welcoming you to today's edition of Saturday Special.
And I am Oluwa from Bibelo, saying thank you for joining Saturday Special. It's the 20th of December, 2025. Yes, 5 days to Christmas.
And the first day of Christmas, my trailer said to me.
It's 5 days to Christmas. I mean, we're all reeling in that, atmosphere. But I raised, something earlier this week that it doesn't really look like Christmas is around the corner, unlike it used to be those days.
What do you think is missing?
The decorations, the merriment. I mean, 5 days to Christmas, everywhere is bubbling already.
I think the first thing that looks missing is the Hamatan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the Matan is like a signal that says, look, get ready and
Holidays,
decorate.
yes.
So I guess the Hamatan is what has kept people away. You know, I've been so busy, so I keep saying, I'm going to decorate my house. I'm going to decorate my house. I've not been able to. And I'm going to do it before Christmas.
I mean, I think we're rocking the same boat. I've been saying, I need to bring out my Christmas tree. I've been saying that for 2 weeks now. And
I don't know why it's difficult.
It just doesn't feel like Christmas is close. But yes, Christmas is in 5 days and we hope you're ready. But whatever it is, however you can celebrate, make sure you celebrate the best way you can. Let's forget, do not borrow to celebrate, because, I mean, Christmas will come and go, and you'll be left with the debt, to pay back. So celebrate the way you can celebrate. Yes, we'll take you through the dailies, and here I have the Saturday Tribune with me. On the front page, it says, local government funds. Tinubu threatens executive order to enforce Supreme Court judgment. That story is on page 2. Reps prescribed 10-year jail term for forgers of election results. Pass electoral reform bill. That's also on page 2. New tax system. What sex workers, touts, other informal sector participants need to know. Oyedele Tax Committee Chair. That story is on pages 16 and 17. And on pages 8 and 25, we dismantled uniform dictatorship, but left intact culture of impunity. That's coming from Babafemi Ojudu. 2026 will witness stronger discipline in budget implementation. And that's coming from the president. That story is on page 6. Ekiti government dismisses ex-youth surgeon for alleged kidney removal. That story is on page 5. You did see the story?
Removing someone's kidney.
And when he went to question, he says he was told that they found both kidney joined together. So they had to
borrowed
remove
one.
That's
it's so ridiculous.
And
when you see medical experts taking laws into their hands because they feel that
a lot of people have been talking. There's been a lot of outcry. People saying it looks like organ harvesting, and when your life is not even safe,
that person is just one
in the
out
hospital.
of many people.
Yes. And it's you ask
it's a
yourself
government
questions.
Hospital.
A government hospital, and you ask yourself, so who exactly is safe? How can we be safe? What else can keep us safe in Nigeria? I mean, if we are going to private organizations, and there's been a lot of, outcry, and now here is a private government, hospital experiencing such. Anyways, the Ekiti state government says they will take, charge expenses of the, everything, the medical expenses of the young man in question.
Or return his kidney back.
Because kidney cannot be returned. They will look for a donor.
Yeah, because you don't even know the condition of because for one to have been removed, trust me, they may have removed the most healthy kidney. And when the most healthy is removed, what happens to him?
It's so unfortunate. It's so
Quite
unfortunate. But it's good,
unfortunate.
you know, the Ekiti State government was able to step in on time to...
By now, one should have expected, I mean, if it was politics, you know, what could have gone out there? One should have expected, you know, the man's license to, yes, let investigation go on, but once confirmed, let his license be taken away from him.
We are still, investigation is still ongoing and it's been dismissed currently.
And he should be prosecuted.
He has been dismissed. And I think I also read that also those, you know, in charge also, those that were aware of the surgery, they've been suspended also. Every other officials were suspended, but the surgeon was dismissed, has been dismissed. So, I mean, let's see what happens, what comes out of, you know,
trust me, every other person who had gone through that doctor should go back and do a medical check to be sure their kidneys and liver are actually working.
Every other organ.
Yeah, their eyes too.
All right.
They can see.
The last on the front page of the Saturday Tribune this morning, we have a picture of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presenting the 2026 budget proposal to the joint sitting of the National Assembly yesterday and taking some of the inside stories. Local government funds, Tinubu threatens executive order to enforce Supreme Court judgment. Foundation donates multi-million naira social pediatric complex to OOUTH. And on page 3, Ibadan's runway to the future inside the reopened Ladoke Akintola Airport. Airpiece to resume Ibadan-Abuja flights December 20.
I should be clapping. That's a landmark achievement.
It is indeed. Makinde restates commitment to strengthening education sector. That story is also on page 3. Moving on to page 6, 2026 will witness stronger discipline in budget implementation. And that's coming from the president. That story is on page 6. We dismissed uniformed dictatorship, but left intact culture of impunity. That's coming from Babafemi Ojudu. That story is on page 8, running through to page 25. Ask the doctor. We have so many questions here. My bulging tummy. To marry a schizophrenic. What is sore throat? My battle with menopause. Red wine and my health. Fears over radiation therapy, my early morning headache, sleeping at 70 years. These are all questions on page 9. If you're interested, that story is on page 9. Over to entertainment gist. Mosumala Adela is set to redefine Nollywood with Orisha Oko. That story is on page 14. Don Jazzy gets accolades as US-based Dr. Ayo Tomiwa begins 10K laptop projects. Federal Ministry of Education approves 5 new national diploma programs for PEFT. My music was inspired by life experiences, struggles around me, and that's coming from Larry G. All stories on page 14 and on page 15. Joke Silva, Emaya Baga, Biodun Stevens spotted at CC Hub end-of-year brunch. High Society gathers at Abiola Dosumu's Lagos home for annual Christmas carol. And of course, we have the birthdays of some, you know, notable people in Nigeria, starting from Oyo State's governor. We have our own engineer Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde, whose birthday is on the 25th. We have Abdullahi Ganduje, Bukwan Woshika, Georgia Kume, and Abdul Fattah Ahmed. That's on page 15. New tax system, what sex workers, tout, other informal sector participants need to know. I mean, that's to say everyone is not exempted from the new tax law.
No.
Oyedele Tax Committee Chair is putting that out to everyone concerned. Why cancer incidence is increasing globally. John Kayode, pharmacist, US-based cancer researcher. That's it. I think it actually should be what everyone should pick up to read, because it's alarming the rate at which you were recording so much cancer cases. It's really alarming. Moving on to page 19. My university life was 30% academics, 70% everything else. Chidera Duru, Covenant Varsity Best Graduating Student. That's on page 19. Moving on to page 26. Everyone you ever knew now lives in a million different places. The surprising truth about generations and loneliness. And of course, we have a picture where, people are just on their phone, pressing their phone, and that's where we found ourselves today. You can even sit on a table with someone, Jadisola, with a group of people, and you realize everyone is just pressing their phone. We barely interact
That
with ourselves
happens
anymore.
every time.
I think we should start getting to that point where
Be
we need to
intentional.
be intentional. We need to start putting our phones down, dropping our phones, and start having proper interaction with people.
Maybe when you're with someone, just decide that you would only look at your phone 2 times.
Yes. We need to work on that. And here we have a Vox Pop on page 27. What's your opinion on Senate screening of ambassadorial nominees? That's on page 27. And we have the picture of the president and the Senate president. Why urban grammar schools pioneer set marked 40 years of legacy, renewed hope. Moving on to page 30. Bauchi to construct new facilities in 20 local government areas. Gombe United suspend coach. And now on sports, Uche has mastered our style, Palace coach. Ex-Minister Dare canvasses reward system for athletes. AFCON, Odiaka drums up support for Eagles. And lastly, we have, it's a huge task to captain Eagles. And that's coming from Ndidi. That's all on the Saturday Tribune. Over to you, Jadisola.
All right, of course, we'll take some of the stories that made the headline from the Nation newspaper of this morning. And the major story there says, defense security top priorities in 58.18 trillion naira 2026 budget. The story is on page 4 with some riders. President vowed to court waste, manage debt with discipline, seek extension of 2025 budget, implementation to March 2026. Expert budget provides clear economic direction. Right under this new architecture, any armed group or gun-wielding non-state actor operating outside state authority will be regarded as terrorist. All right, on page 6, Tinubu threatens executive order, FAC deduction if governors withhold local government funds. Shetima to opposition, Tinubu has no rival for 2027 polls. My joining APC is in Plateau's interest. That's coming from Mutuwang. All right, on page 7, Catholic bishops to Nigerians, evil will not prevail. All right, on page 3, review police withdraw order. Akpabio Beck's president says some lawmakers may not come for yellow tide. For me, can you imagine that? The Senate president asking, one of the ways to keep the country safe is to withdraw security agents, personnel with VIPs. Now the Senate president is saying some people will not be able to go home because of the withdrawal for festivity. Then let them stay in Abuja or get private security.
Exactly, private security. And you begin to ask yourself, how have these people treated, what's their behavior to the
towards
people
the police
at home? I'm not even talking about the police. For you not to feel safe, when you go home, what's your behavior to them? How have you been treating them? Do you listen to them when they talk? I saw a video. I don't know how true it is. I've not been able to fact check it. But it was I think a lawmaker from Zamfara, thereabouts. And a lot of, they pounced on him. And he felt like he was beating blue-black. And there was nobody to save him. So, this is also a call to our lawmakers. If you've been appointed, delegated, elected, do well. Represent your people well. So when you go home, there will even be a shield for you.
I don't even know why we have to reverse a government policy that will resolve the issue of insecurity.
Especially
and
at
the only thing the Senate president can say is that it should be reversed. There are private securities. Let them engage the private securities.
And yet we talk about our police personnel not enough to protect Nigerians. And our VIPs want them to continue to protect them.
For me, it's fine. It's fine.
Indeed fine.
God will help all of us. I won't say beyond that. All right, on page 6, INEC to PDP factions, put your house in order. We're waiting for court verdict, says Turkey-led NWC. All right, on page 2, NFAC 130 aircraft released from Burkina Faso, land in Ghana, continue mission to Portugal. All right, let's go to all the stories there. We'll go to page 3. Nigeria-US seal $5 billion health pact to boost disease control system resilience. The story is on page 3. Mother who sold baby, drug dealer, others arrested in Delta. Man kills friend over ablution water. That's serious. I don't know what the content of that story is, but trust me, it's not the ways to go. Akpabio urges Tinubu to review directive on police withdrawal, saying some lawmakers may not go home for yearly time. All right, let's come to some other stories there. Let's go to page 6, and let's see what we have on page 6. All right, on page 6, INEC to PDP faction put your house in order. The president begins 3-state visit to Lagos for end of the year holiday. All right, hashtag NSAS, my toughest moment as minister, says Lai Mohammed. Wow, Lai Mohammed, I remember him some days ago. Wow. All right, let's just leave it there. All right, NACA certified Kano Port Accord International Airport. Supreme Court throws out INEC's appeal against SDP. Catholic bishop to Nigerians, evil will not prevail. All right, let's go to some other pages. On page 9, from farm to freight, Ekiti's agro-allied cargo advance. Oladejo Afolayan, a national treasure at 71. All right, Tinubu prophetic in vision, delivering with foresight. All right, live on the weekend live, Inside Money Spinning Cultural Festival in Nigeria. Our Ojudioba Ofala Doba. Others boost foreign exchange inflow, economy, peaceful coexistence. Festival positively, I beg your pardon, shaping Nigeria's image, attracting international attention. All right, Zulum disburses 1 billion naira, trains 1,050 youths on GSM repairs. Right, coming to page 14. Nigeria is biggest creative empire in Africa. All right, on the sports page, you are face-to-face with Talasimanke and then England's Bayern striker. Atlante wants landmark win at Everton. Guardiola dismisses Man City exit talk. All right, King Kane face-to-face with Talasimanka, England Bayern striker. Pep dismisses Man City exit talks. Slot clear air on turbulent week with Mo Salah. Frank insists Tottenham players still with me. All right, Gabriel Mack meeting Brazilian wonder kid on Liverpool's radar. Breakthrough as TSM sets to inject over 40 billion naira in NNL and WFL. AFCON, Nigeria renew rivalries against the rest of Africa. All right, that story is there. All right, battle in Turin. Juventus host Roma in Series A, top of the table clash. All right, let's come to page 19. Mukare, I started my career as kid actor in Taxi Driver. All right, Effium Tom Bourne, Bassi new torchbearer of Epic High Life. All right, Dr. Till hosts Uwambe party in Lagos. Fuji Star reunite at Sikiru Ainde Barrister Memorial. All right, Ajida Cruz, redefining Africa fashion through art. Actress Musumola Adeleye is set to release Orishauko. All right, let's go to some other pages this morning. Kikelamo Akinlui, 1 year after the best goes on. Wuware's wife feeds market women, urges them to intensify PVC sensitization. All right, one Prince Dotun Senusi, Abdul Fatai Akin Kekerieko takes on new role. You want to know? It's on page 22 of the Nation newspaper. When Ghana's Maham emerges Are Atayeto Odua. Right, OPC leader Adeshope urges vigilance during yearly time. Gunmen abduct mourners, 5 others in Kogi. Lagos hosts 2025 Christmas Carol of 9 lessons. Can you imagine gunmen abducting mourners? People who are mourning, and you still abduct them? Ondo Deep Sea Port will serve as global trade hub, says Ayeda Tiwa. Oyo approves conversion for 654 officers across cadres. Tinubu supports Group DG splashes a 2 million naira on indigent 21-year-old. OPC leader, okay, I've taken that. Custom intercept 2 billion naira smuggled goods, drugs. All right, Senate OK's new CEO for NURIP NMDPRA, Tinubu celebrates Olatilo Badigeshin. Court restrains Abia ex-commissioner for making comments against OT. And third phone loud Tinubu for speedy approval of funds. Stulum launches 1 billion youth empowerment. Tinubu mourns the MICOM founder, Michael Ponle. Police recover 131 destroyed armored electricity cable in tinted glass vehicles. Right, Sokoto 9-point smart agenda committee urged to think creatively, strategically. The story is on page 29. All right, on page 30, Odili proposes 70-year-old retirement age. Other peg for professionals. INEC to PDP faction. Put your house in order. President threatening executive order. Real estate firm makes business. Okay. God will punish politicians who misuse power. That's coming from Obaseki. All right, new Eagles captain Ndidi vows to uphold unity. DR Congo star out of AFCON. And of course, Supporters Club won't be in Morocco to cheer Eagles. Why? All right, Oseme will scare defenders at AFCON, says Onyeka. FIFA owes 5,000 for resold World Cup tickets. Right, and of course, let's win on the pitch. And that's all that we have this morning from the Nation newspaper.
All right,
Where do we go from here?
It's time for governor's activities through the course of the week, so we'll be right back. Stay with us.
The St. James Cathedral, Okebola Ibadan, hosted dignitaries far and near who came to witness the holy matrimony between Michael Shadipe and Muyosore Ayorinde, the daughter of the chairman of Oyo State Advisory Council, Chief Bolaji Ayorinde, SAN. Speaking at the event, the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, expressed concern over indiscriminate dumping of refuse, particularly in Ibadan, the state capital. He assured residents that his administration will intensify efforts to ensure that the menace of dirtiness is nipped in the bud. While congratulating the newly wedded couple, Governor Makinde charged them to build a united home free from division arising from their different backgrounds.
She's of the APC. Chief Bolaji is of PDP, SDP, PDP. So for those of you that will kill for us politicians, this is an example that don't kill yourself. Politics is a game, but governance is not. Governance is not a game. Governance is serious business, and that is why I'm using this opportunity to apologize to all of you. Passing through Ibadan, you will see a lot of waste all over. It's a problem we've been dealing with. It has taken me 6 years. It has still not been solved. But I promise you, that problem will be solved and be solved for good.
In his sermon, the Bishop of Ibadan Anglican Diocese, the Most Reverend Dr. Joseph Akinfenwa, lauded and congratulated Governor Makinde for his uncommon leadership approach to governance, noting that his good works have clearly distinguished him from his predecessors.
From all intents and purposes, you have done the thing that has made you to surpass others in the administration of Oyo State. Your style of leadership is simple but pragmatic and
bishop also charged the new couple to love and forgive each other, emphasizing that forgiveness is essential to building a godly and enduring home. The event was attended by former governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, former governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, the wife of former governor of Oyo State, Chief Florence Ajimobi, as well as other top government functionaries from the state.
We do it in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
Speaking at the occasion, Governor Seyi Makinde expressed appreciation to all individuals and groups who have contributed to the development of the state since its creation. He noted that his administration has adopted a blend of long-term and medium-term development strategies aimed at advancing the state. The governor expressed confidence that despite the prevailing economic challenges facing the country, Oyo State will continue to grow and record greater achievements in the coming years.
By May 29, 2027, 88 years engineer, the Oyo State people will decide. Me, I will recommend. Because I was about to pay me, you recommend. They are deceiving themselves. I will recommend. And I want him to recommend, I want him to feel they will be able to continue with the job.
Governor Makinde also disclosed that the 32 kilometers first phase of the Senator Rashidi Ladoja Circular Road, stretching from Senator Abiola Ajimobi Technical University to the Badiku Junction on the Ibadan-Ife Road, is expected to be commissioned by February next year.
So I don't mind taking the bullet for the incoming administration. Some people also took bullets for us. Káwa tó déjọba. I won't mind. And tó bá tún fẹ́ bú mi lórí nǹkan tá bá tún fẹ́ ṣe, they should go ahead.
In his address, the chairman of the Oyo State at 50 Committee, Honorable Said Fijabi, assured residents that the Golden Jubilee celebration of the state will be inclusive, reflective, and forward-looking. He commended Governor Seyi Makinde for his compassionate leadership and political acumen, noting that the 58th anniversary is not merely about celebrating longevity, but about honoring leadership, legacy, and limitless possibilities.
If all politicians can emulate him, I think Nigeria would have been the best. And the only thing I've seen about the man is that the more you criticize him, the more he does better. Criticize him, he listen and do. Criticize him and he listen and do. So he has been doing. And sir, we have been seeing the political climate or political atmosphere. What is happening in Nigeria? We are all behind you. Keep on, and we'll support you. Don't worry.
In their various goodwill messages, the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, represented by Oba Abiodun Koladaisi, Olu of Igboora, Oba Jimoh Titiloye, and Minister of the Federation, Chief Onikepo Akande, and Chief Bayo Oyero, commended Governor Makinde for his numerous developmental achievements and pledged their continued support for his administration. The highlight of the event was the unveiling of the Oyo State at 50 logo, followed by the symbolic release of 50 golden balloons into the air. Governor Makinde also rewarded the designer of the winning logo, Sunday Ajayi, with a cash prize of 1.5 million naira. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
Saturday special on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. And of course, we are this morning. Rising insecurity, bandit and all right, welcome back. It's still I beg your pardon, Saturday special on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. And this morning, of course, we're in the interview segment and we'll be looking at what we call rising insecurity, bandit invasion of Ora Igbomina. Of course, you know that that community is located in Osun State. And there were reports that one person was killed while an ex-custom officer was abducted. Of course, the abductors laid an ambush by his residence before he was taken away. But not just that, there were reports and updates that the abductors have requested for 200 million naira ransom to release the ex-custom officer. That's what we're going to be looking at this morning, vis-a-vis other kidnapping insecurity issues across the country. But to do justice to the conversation we have in our studio this morning, Dr. Adekunle Okunola, who is a security expert. You're welcome to the program this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigeria.
And we have Dr. Sam Olorunfemi, of course, is a legal practitioner. You're welcome once again to the program this morning.
Thanks a lot. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, let's begin by, I'd like to start with Dr. Sam Olorunfemi. Dr. Sam, security situation in Nigeria. But while going to Ora Igbomina, let's do a clear, dissection of the situation. We had a similar situation in Oyo State, Ibadan, recently, where a lady was also abducted. They laid an ambush up in front of her gate, and when she parked, she was, whisked away, and only for us to hear that she was released. We did not hear about ransom being paid, no information. Of course, one would have thought that the family were trying to keep her safe. In the legal system, when we have kidnapping happening in the southwest, and it seemed like nobody is showing concern, in the north, where even the abductors are known, negotiations are being done. What kind of law are we running in Nigeria? Is it still one Nigeria?
Yeah, I would say it's not the same one Nigeria. But when security or insecurity is politicized, what do you want to say? In the recent time, understand the lawmakers wanted to lay penalty for banditry to be death. That is, if you are caught as a bandit, the penalty will be death. to be killed. But I understand the top, legal officer is against it. In a nation where you allow people who are apologetic, who are sympathizers to bandits, to be given address or advice to the government, and moving all around and even acting as negotiator, what do you expect? Terrorism anywhere, call it banditry, call it whatever name, is not supposed to be condoned by anybody. But here, the government is handling it with hand gloves, which is not supposed to be. It's not as if the law, does the law accept crime to be, acceptable? But these are not even crimes in the real sense of it, all these stand-line crimes. You know what I mean? They are enemies of the state. They are enemies of the nation. Law is against it. And if I were to be in position, in fact, any bandit that's caught should be killed immediately. There should be no room. What do you call repentant, bandits or terrorists? People who have maimed lives, who have destroyed lives and properties.
Sir, when you say they should be killed immediately, have you forgotten that even across the globe, everyone is trying to eradicate capital punishment for offenses, believing that whoever commits an offense can still repent?
Well, I don't know that. Yes, you are correct, but then I think there are stages, there are levels, there are phases. For instance, if you kill, the penalty is that you are murdered. The penalty is either life imprisonment, depending on how it happened, or outright, being killed too. You understand? Why don't we look at it from that perspective?
Well,
that somebody should be killed.
Okay, let's quickly go to Dr. Okola. Dr. Okola, look at the angle where the legal luminary is coming from. Looking at, as a security expert, do you also share the same view that whoever kills should be killed, and that the person should be killed immediately?
Yes, I know that all over the world, nations are frowning at capital punishment, but not terrorism cases. Not in terrorism, very well, not in terrorism cases. The lawyer rightly said, enemy state, and what they want to do outrightly is make the nation, to be rendered a failure. That's what they want to do. Look at the way things, especially after Donald Trump's, threat of invasion, you will see it. In Nigeria, just in November, 303 students and 12 staffs abducted at the St. Mary's Catholic School. In another school in Kebbi State, 25 students abducted, and the vice principal who tried to resist the abduction was killed. In Zamfara, 64 people, mostly women and children, were abducted from their homes. And in Kwara, kidnappers opened fire in a church service, killing 2 worshippers and abducting 38 others. Then have these oral incidents where one was killed and the ex, officer, was whisked away. Now, why is the spike? Why do we have the spike, the rise in abduction, especially of children after Donald Trump's, threat of invasion. There are two reasons. Number one, the terrorists or the bandits, whatever their names, is, they want to use those children as human shield in case U.S. Army enter Nigeria, because they know that U.S. Army will obey the rule of engagement that refrains them from attacking where children are prevalent.
That's your opinion.
It's a security analysis,
Wow.
analysis that I'm giving you. They want to use those children as human shield because they believe that U.S. Army must obey the rule of engagement, that where children are prevalent, you don't attack. That is number one reason, okay? And the number two reasons where abduction, kidnapping has risen in the recent times is because they believe that if the U.S. Army eventually comes, because they're actually daring, the U.S. president, they're actually daring it by, recent kidnapping news coming up, that when the U.S. Army comes to Nigeria and missiles are flying here and there, then the Nigerian state is a failure. And that is what they want to achieve, to render this state a failed state. Yes.
This fight, insecurity,
Yeah.
is this something we can fight on our own as a nation? Can Nigeria fight insecurity alone without intervention?
Nigeria alone can fight insecurity as a nation.
We have
The former, listen, the former president of Nigeria, late Abacha, said something before he died. He said, if insecurity prevails in any nation for more than 3 days, then it must have a knowledge of the incumbent administration in it. We're talking of a few people that are not even up to the number of Nigerian army, not to talk of Nigerian police, not to talk of other security structures that we have in Nigeria. But what we are having here is we're having saboteurs. Because of the merchandise that is involved, a lot of money is involved in kidnapping. He just said that the man that was in at Ora, they are demanding 200 million as ransom. Tell me what business, you can do that in one transaction.
Asking price.
Yes, that in one transaction you will make 200 million naira.
That's the asking price. They will still negotiate.
That tells you how depraved the situation is.
Now,
negotiating with bandits. You don't negotiate with bandits.
Terrorists.
You
no.
take them out.
No.
That is the rule.
But it looks like we are pampering them in Nigeria.
Yes.
Why is that so?
We are pampering them because when you are talking of kidnappers, bandits, the guys that you see on the streets, that are kidnapping people, they are not the real kidnappers. They are not the real kidnappers. When you look at them, when you look at those guys, they don't look like somebody who just got 200 million, 300 million, all right? But they are financiers. They have godfathers. And it cuts across every, aspect of Nigeria. We have them in the military. We have them in the police. We have them among the politicians. Even in the government, we have them. And unfortunately, even among the clergies, we have them. Recently, that was 2 days ago, a reverend father was arrested in Jos, supplying in arms and ammunition to the bandits. Because of what? Money. Recently, a junior military officer was apprehended in Katsina, supplying ammunition, to the bandits. Because of what? Money. We have studies, researches that have indicted, people. Recently, names have been mentioned, and we're waiting for a government to take the bull at the horn and prosecute these people and find out whether they're guilty. Yes.
Okay, Dr. Kola, let's quickly go back to Dr. Olorunfemi. Dr. Olorunfemi, I want to take you up on some issues. And I want to really look at the issues legally. Let's look at the legal perspective to the issue of banditry. Now, when we talk about terrorism and banditry, what does the law say? Can we look at what the law says?
Well, the law is against any crime at whatever level, okay? But, even it's against terrorism in the real sense of it. But what are the state actors doing? What is the state government doing? What are the security infrastructure that's put in place? You get it? Even the military, as militarian, they are with their responsibility. Do you know they cannot do anything except by the authority of the man at the top? That's the president, who is the commander-in-chief. You get what I'm saying? And it has been said again and again that if they are given the order today to wipe them off, they will do so. Yeah. Why have they not given them the order? It means there's complicity.
This order before we go to the order, let's go on the commercial. We need to pay some bills. When we pay these bills, we're going to come back because we've had many of our presidents saying, gun them down, clear them off. We'll be right back because we technically won the war way back. Stay with us.
Dirty and stains don't do a shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo. Protect your home every day with hypo.
No green. Protect every day with hypo.
Hypo, go hypo.
Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Shout my teeth fresh now, but you know, I beg no be slow. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world? For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, you get down to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Because with Colgate, that's what do ya got with your smile.
Still Saturday special Land Broadcasting Corporation of your state. Before we went on that break, Dr. Kola was basically talking about the need for government to actually crush down this terrorist. And I was saying that we've had government.
It wasn't Dr. Kola that was saying that, it was me.
Dr. Lauren Femi, sorry. And we've had government in the past who will say, look, go and clear them, go to Sambisa, go everywhere. Whatever you find bandits, kill them. And unfortunately, it seemed like presidents or the presidency only speaks and nobody obeys the last.
It's not true. It's not true. Well, maybe those who, why I say it's not that, it was saying it could be a political statement. If the order is given as it ought to, they will act.
How should the order be given?
They know how.
No,
you get it?
No.
You know, okay, for instance, if we want to talk now, we say every one of us is in government. Is every one of us in government? The policy makers, they are those in government. You get it? Even in this BCOS, those who give the order are there. So it is over there. How can government say, kill them, crush them? Then the same government will not allow some people to be called repentant bandits.
That's an assumption.
What kind of assumption is that? And some of them are being, put into the military. You get it? The order has not been given. The order has not been given.
Okay.
There is no sincerity in the language they speak out. Don't you know that politicians have different languages and many mouths?
Okay, let's quickly go to Dr. Kola. Dr. Kola, as an expert, security scholar, tell us, what kind of person should not be recruited into security agencies? What kind of human being?
Thank you very much. Let me first of all buttress what the lawyer just said now. When you're talking of order, there are lip sayings that are quite different from willful sayings. What we've been having so far has been lip saying. We're having the government trying to save face. Saving face and oriental statement when somebody is trying to, you understand. That's what we've been having. If indeed the president means what he's saying, then I don't think we should be having peace talk with bandits, like we're having all over.
Is the presidency having peace talks with bandits?
The state governors are having peace talk.
We've seen,
all right.
We've seen some instances
Peace
where
talk
state governors are having peace talks.
Yeah, I'm talking about the presidency.
Yes, the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. All right, let me give you an example. Nigeria is becoming a joke, a laughing stock to many people in the diaspora. And nations are looking at us and are we really, human being? Just last month, Assistant Commissioner of Police in Katsina, was killed in his office, presumably given, out by his own people, because the way he was killed was brutal, by the bandits. And the bandits, after killing him, removed his uniform, and the leader of the bandits put on his uniform. And a few weeks after, the governor of Katsina State, is asking for a peace talk with the bandits. And the bandits are giving orders to the governor that no police officer or military officer that will attend must come in uniform. They must come in plain clothes. And the governor accepted. At the day of the meeting, the bandits arrived. The way they announced their arrival, shooting sporadically in the air and things like that. And the leader of the bandits that wants to have a peace talk with the government was putting on the uniform of the Assistant Commissioner of Police of Katsina State that was killed a few weeks ago with the name tag of the commissioner there, with a blood stain. And the meeting held. And at the end of the meeting, peacefully, the bandits left. And you are saying the president is saying, crush them. What other opportunity do you have more than that, if indeed you really mean to crush the bandits? If you want to crush the bandits, will you have, an accredited negotiator in the person of Gumi that negotiate between the federal government and the bandits, that knows whereabouts of the bandits?
Gumi seemed to be untouchable.
Why is he untouchable?
That's the question.
Because the government does not mean what the government is saying. This was a man that, went to Mecca and he was repatriated. He wasn't allowed to enter Mecca because they said his policies are against that of the state. And this is the person we celebrate in Nigeria. Do you know how many times
we do not celebrate Gumi?
Do you know how many times? He was in Oyo State recently.
Yes, he was.
He was in Oyo State recently. Do you know how many times he
was
had?
in Oyo State for an event.
Do you know how many times?
That's what I said.
That kind of a person should not be moving around
Freely.
in Nigeria. If the government really means what he's saying.
What should government do? Fumbi, go ahead.
I mean, that's a follow-up question. You're talking of governments not allowing such. But at this point where we have someone like Gumi still moving freely, across states, what should state governors, begin to do in terms of protection and security?
In Nigeria, the truth is that if you are poor, all right, you are nameless, you are faceless, and you are voiceless. And until the son of nobody can become somebody without the influence of anybody, then we are not a nation. We have sons of nobody in Nigeria that went abroad and become somebody without any influence. That's a nation. All right? You go out, go on air, and say a few of what Gumi has said in relation to the bandits and see what will happen to you.
That's what I'm asking. As a security expert,
yes,
you should be able to give us a guide. Yeah. Why is Gumi untouchable? We need to know by now. We should have seen scholars doing research to tell us exactly. We want to know why Gumi seems to be untouchable.
Gumi is untouchable, seems untouchable in Nigeria because the government knows who the financiers, the godfathers of bandits and kidnappers are in Nigeria.
And this brings me to what you said earlier, talking of financiers, saboteurs, and security, so military men, being apprehended some weeks ago. Where should prosecution start from? And I would also want Dr. Lauren Femi to answer this question, but I think you should start with that. Where should we start the prosecution from?
You prosecute after arrest, all right? You can't prosecute somebody you have not arrested. And now, there's not been any arrest.
Where should the arrest start from?
Who should be arrested first?
We talk about politicians, we talk about the military, we talk about, our leaders.
Let me give you another example for you to know that, we're really in a serious issue. A lot of people think that it's just the Northeast, Northwest. Thank God we're seeing things that we have said before, happening in Kwara State, now in Osun State. 2 weeks ago, some Fulani guys were apprehended right here in Oyo State. And you see the kind of weapons that they displayed, sickles that they used to, hack people's neck. And when those guys were being interrogated, you could see the pomposity, the arrogance in them. There was no a sense of regret also, because they know that take them to police station, they will leave that same day. Because somebody somewhere...
Does that still happen now?
I'm telling you what happened 2 weeks ago.
That they will be released.
They will be released immediately. They will be released.
And that was why I started by asking, that what kind of law do we operate in this country?
Why is it that, if you look at the sequence of those events that has happened, all right, in Niger State, there was an intelligence that there was going to be an attack at that school, and the military deployed armies to the place, and the police as well. And we had on record, and on the day that the attack was going to happen, at exactly 2 o'clock midnight, the military that were attached to the place, they left.
To go and eat?
They left 2 o'clock a.m.
I mean, I'm asking.
Left, all right? And attack went on for 2.5 hours. You know what it means to take children, about 300 children, to arrange them and lead them inside the bush? It takes a long time. At around 5:05, they left. 5:30, the military returned. And since then, the military has been probing those officers. We have not gotten any result of why they should. And that was not the first or the second time that some things will happen.
Okay.
It's because there are saboteurs, even in the military. There are toes that the presidents are afraid to step on. In the mind of our president, all these politicians now, is 2027. And whatever will prevent them from retaining their positions, they will avoid.
Okay,
we have people playing politics with human lives. And that's what we have in Nigeria. All these go after them, crush them, they are lip sayings. They are not from the heart.
Let's go to Dr. Lauren Femi. Talking about Gumi now, and of course we know we also have people like Gumi roaming about, the country, walking freely, those inciting terrorism in the country. What does the law say about such people and, of course, their freedom?
You see, the law does not give freedom to criminals. If you see people like that walking, just like my colleague had said, that during the time of Abacha, he said if you see an act of terrorism thriving, even beyond 24 hours, it means those in government are involved. Yes, and that's exactly what is happening now. Those in government are involved. The presidency cannot be exonerated. Are you with me? As they are at the federal level, they are at the state level, they are at the local level. And you asked a question a few minutes ago that do we have law? I mean, where do we start from? I think you asked that question.
She did.
You did. That where do we start the arrest from?
Prosecution.
The prosecution from. There's nowhere it cannot start from. If there is sincerity in tackling the issue of insecurity in this nation, yes, there's what we call equality before the law. It does not exempt, it's because...
But there's no equality here in Nigeria.
There is.
How?
I will tell you, there is. It's because there is, what do you call it, immunity for those in government.
You're talking about those in government. Let's even start with those, you know,
let me tell you what.
Just give us a scenario. The bandits were invited. They came. Oh, that would have been an opportunity to arrest them and prosecute them.
Who invited them?
So that's the point.
No, wait. Who invited them? Listen. Who invited them? Why should they be invited? The people who invited them, should they invite them? And the people that are invited, should they be invited?
Don't you also think that that's where the arrest should come from? Those that invited them should also be picked.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Sincerity, insincerity. Insincerity. It was just yesterday, today's Saturday, it was just yesterday the President Tinubu was talking about the fact that they will not designate, that there will be no mercy for them. They will not designate them to be terrorists.
We have it in the papers.
That they will not designate them as terrorists, all these bandits. Why is it now?
He said
Why is it now? Probably because they heard that Gumi has been arrested by United States of America and that he's been taken to ICC,
now,
International Criminal Court.
Now, it says under this new architecture, any armed group or gun-wielding non-state actors operating outside state authority will be regarded as terrorists.
Yes, why now? Why now? Why not before now?
No, but we have it. That's why we have Kanu in custody, Nnamdi Kanu.
Why Nnamdi Kanu? Why you see Nnamdi Kanu terrorizing Nigeria the way all these bandits are terrorizing?
But it's still talking of security of the nation. But Dr. Okunola, a few weeks ago, we had the Southwest governors come together, a setting of the Southwest Security Trust Fund. I want you to speak to that regarding the security. It feels like we're seeing an invasion into the Southwest now. And virtually all regions of the country, is now, security-wise, has been brought, there's a question mark on it. How do we protect ourselves? What's the Security Trust Fund about? How will it ensure security for us all, especially in the Southwest?
There are three options that locals have in Nigeria now, because we have waited and waited for response from the government, and it's not forthcoming. And we just be waiting in vain if we want the government to assist when it comes to fighting insecurity in your locality. There are three options. Number one, to mount up their own vigilante self-defense force. And that is what I believe the governors of the Southwest have done with the Amotekun Corps. And thank God for the Amotekun Corps. In fact, probably Oyo State, especially, will have been worse than the north central of Nigeria, if not because of the Amotekun talks. Kudos to the late Arakuri Akeredolu and the governor of Oyo State for the role they played. It was almost prevented, but they fought for it. because they believe that one of the things that locals can do is to mount up their own self-defense. And the way we can do is this vigilante cop or community policing in the form of Amoteco. And you know that even they are still restricted in their activities. You can't match the weapons they carry with the weapons that the bandits are carrying, and that's why they've not been effective. Another, option that any locals have in Nigeria is to strike deal with the bandits in forms of paying them. Can you
imagine?
Yesterday I was reading Iroyin Odua, and it's saying that the bandits are consulting some Yoruba communities, asking for 20 million naira.
For what?
To avoid being attacked.
Which of the communities?
Some communities. That's where Iroyin Odua is giving. That's an intelligence that some bandits are consulting some Yoruba communities, asking for 20 million naira if they don't want to be attacked. Sincerely speaking, if government does nothing about this intelligence, you will see some communities paying that money, like it's been done in Borno, like it's been done in Katsina, like it's been done in Zamfara.
When it happened, when it started.
Oh yes, Lakurawa, when it started, we shouted and shouted that there was recruitment. Something is happening close to us in Iwo now. There is a militia, an Islamic militia that is passionate with Emirs or whatever. They're grooming them in Iwo. All right, I have a video.
Which Iwo?
Iwo town in Osun State.
In Osun State.
Very close to us here.
Very close to us here. There's an Islamic military that is being groomed. They are being trained, and they're chanting war songs every time they are meeting.
Okay,
that's an intelligence that the government should act upon.
We need to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to look at what the government of Osun State is doing. Okay. Because it seems like if that is actually happening in Iwo, Osun State, then it means we are in for it. Yeah. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Protect every day with Hypo. Germs always find a way back.
So disinfect your living room every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo. Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Shut my teeth fresh now, but you know, I beg no be slow. Ever had a Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world. For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, it's your time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Because we Colgate, that's what we are down with your smile.
Ọ̀pọ̀ làwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ń béèrè wípé àjọ wo ní tún jẹ́ Ọ̀yọ́ ETF. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló dá Ọ̀yọ́ ETF sílẹ̀. Àpètàn rẹ̀ sì ni Ọ̀yọ́ State Education Trust Fund. Kí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ kó lè yanrantí sí i nípa wíwá àwọn ọ̀nà míì tíjọba omi tuntun yóò ṣe túbọ̀ rí owó pèsè fún ètò ẹ̀kọ́. Ó ń lójúṣe Ọ̀yọ́ ETF jaburata. Ó ń làwọn àṣeyọrí tí Ọ̀yọ́ ETF ti ṣe o. Gbogbo onílé iṣẹ́ ọ̀tọ̀kùlúùlú àtẹ̀yìntẹ́ ọmọ rírì ìjọba omi tuntun tètò ẹ̀kọ́ tó tún jẹ lógún tẹ́ fẹ́ tìjọba lẹ́yìn láti pàṣẹ Ọ̀yọ́ ETF. Ẹ kàn sí 2B Ọba Kenzua Crescent Onírèké GRA Ìbàdàn. Ẹ sì lè pe alága Ọ̀yọ́ ETF Barrister Rahman Abiodun Abdulrahim sórí 081 81 94 74 96 tàbí akọ̀wé aláṣẹ Ọ̀yọ́ ETF sí orí 070 69 43 85 19 Ọ̀yọ́ ETF ló kéde.
Welcome back. It's still Saturday special. Our guests are still with us. This morning, Dr. Kola and Dr. Olma. And of course, we've been discussing a rising insecurity, bandit attack in Aurora, Igomino in Osun State. And of course, before we went on that break, we're talking about the training of young people who they claim are asking for the freedom of Palestinians.
Yeah.
Now, as a security expert, Dr. Kola, what does this portend? Because remember when we had some protests some years back, you also saw some people raising other countries' flag, Iranian flag and all of that. What does this portend to Nigeria? What's our business with call for other countries? Why are some of these persons being funded? Why are some people making themselves a fertile ground for rebellion, for terrorism, for banditry?
And is it also a way of distracting ourselves from our own
issues?
I told you before that the main aim of any terrorist group, is to render a state a failure. To make a state a failure. And that is what terrorism is all about. Okay. Thank God the government is saying we can now call them terrorists. And my colleague is saying, why now? This is something that should have been done many, many years ago. You are killing people, they are calling you bandits. It should be, terrorists, because the way you deal with bandits is quite different from the way you deal with terrorists. You take out terrorists. Now, the new Islamic terrorist group is emerging in Iwo, Osun State, and you see them hoisting Palestinian flag. This tells us that there are international terrorist groups that are grooming a new terrorist group within Nigeria. And Nigerian government must act on this intelligence.
It's also important to note that the leader has been arrested.
Yes, because this was how Boko Haram started. This is exactly how Boko Haram started, and we neglected it. And unfortunately, one of our governors, who is still moving around, Momodu Shinkafi, the former governor of Borno State, went to them and asked for their help when he wanted to become the governor of Borno State, that they should do whatever is in their power to make him become the governor. And they did, all right? And eventually, they went to him after he became governor, and he was giving a lot of money. And eventually they said he wants to be part of the government. And now he remembered that they were not educated, because Boko Haram actually stands for Western Education is Haram. Boko, Western Education, Haram, And they told him that you knew you were not educated when you came to us. And he went to the military, for assistance, and they wiped them out. And the few of them that remained went inside the bush, and that is the monster, that we failed to deal with, that is not, that is now dealing with us. So what the government should do immediately is to act on that intelligence, kill the force immediately. It's not just about arresting the leader. During that, during the military attack on Boko Haram at the inception, the leader was killed. All right, the leader was killed, but the few that remained went inside the bush, and another leader came up. So what the government should do is to terminate that route immediately, so that we don't have another Lakurawa in Oyo State or in the southwest.
Dr. Kola, I mean, as much as I really want you to continue to talk about these, let's have Dr. Lorofemi, speak about intelligence now.
Yeah.
What is wrong with our intelligence in Nigeria?
There's nothing wrong with our intelligence.
So why
what is wrong?
Why does it feel like we eventually get to hear of an attack when it has happened, and then we begin to say, oh, but letters were sent. Terrorists, reached out to a leader.
My colleague just said.
What is wrong with our intelligence?
I think what we should ask is, what's wrong with those who are supposed to work on our intelligence?
Thank you, sir.
You get it? I'm sorry. There is no proactiveness on the part of both the government and the so-called security apparatus that we have. So many lacuna has been allowed. Even if you look at it now, Nigeria state could not handle what, the military that were, that were arrested by this guy, by Obasanjo, the former president, is the one who is going as a person to go and rescue them. There's a lot of things wrong with us in this nation. Selfishness and greed.
That's right.
It's not allowing us to do what is. I was talking to my family. I said, God forbid, even if there are 10 armongers, they come around me, I'll face. If I'm going to die, at least 1 or 3 will die with me. You got it? We're just playing game with lives of people. The responsibility of government is not which is to protect the people and their properties. It's not being handled very well.
Okay, Dr.
So the intelligence are there, but those who are supposed to act on the intelligence, they are the ones who are not acting. The military are not acting. Yes, those in government are not acting. Those who are supposed to act, because you have many of them who are accomplices. They're in complicity with whatever that's happening that's wrong.
Okay, Dr. Earlier, I was looking at the story of El Zakizaki, who was arrested for offenses, and for many years, the case was in court. His group members were always on the street of Abuja, Sokoto, crying out for his release. And eventually, he was released, went on a medical trip, came back. And I'm sure since then, we have not had issues.
Who was in government then? Is it not the person?
Former President and late President Muhammadu Buhari.
Was he not among the people named as those who brought these people into the nation?
I'm going somewhere, sir.
Okay, yeah.
As we speak, I am not sure, I may be wrong, that we have seen his group, Shiite group, IMN, creating problems as Shiite group in the country since then. One, maybe lessons learned made him call his members to order that he will not be part of those that will promote instability in Nigeria. Maybe his group was never a terrorist or banditry group in the first instance. Maybe it was a vendetta. Because for the court to have vindicated him and discharged him, maybe. Now let's not come to other groups. Why do people even gather in the first place? Let me go to Dr. Kwana. Why do people gather as a group in the first instance?
Now, well, you should have to define the group.
Yes, when I say group, we're talking about insecurity.
Okay.
The groups that end up becoming notorious.
Yes.
Yes,
enemies
and
of
giving
the
problems
state.
to us in the country. Why do they come together in the first place? What is their interest? People who follow them, who are their supporters, members, of what basis? How do they brainwash them?
What are they fighting for?
To kill people, to maim people.
Thank you very much. There is the freedom of association.
Of course, that's the constitution.
You can associate, but the government, must look into the aim and objectives of every association submitted before granting them autonomy to operate. And that is what the government have not been doing in Nigeria. Why do people gather to form a terrorist group or bandits, to terrorize a nation? There are so many reasons, and you ask, why do people join? When Lakurawa came to Sokoto State, we got the wind of it and we raised an alarm. What these people were doing is that they were massively recruiting, youths. And what they do is that when you come as a recruit, they give you 1 million naira. And most of those guys, because of the level of the poverty in the land, many of them had never seen 100,000 naira before.
Let alone 1 million.
Not to talk of 1 million naira. So they were enticed. In a nation where there is abject poverty. People are easily brainwashed. Poverty. Then Number two is religion. You know, somebody said,
religion is an opium.
Religion sometimes blindfolds people. And you wonder why even educated people, not to talk of uneducated people, why they fall victim of religion. You know, if you are not very careful, you don't draw a line. There's a way that religion can blindfold you. Many of these young guys that joined Boko Haram, they were actually brainwashed. Imagine somebody telling you that, you know, the more people you killed, all right, the more women you will have in Algeria. I mean,
is it that they don't think or they don't have, I don't know.
Religion blindfolds.
No, I don't agree.
And that is why the government, as it's been done in other nations, must always look into the ideologies of these religious leaders.
You think the government is not looking into this ideology before registering them?
The government is not doing that.
You
it's
need
not
to,
doing
you need
enough.
to know how they scrutinize such organizations. In fact, any organization.
See, I am a pastor. I know what I am talking about. The government is not doing enough. If government is doing enough, all this nonsense that you hear, even on the social media, you can't do that in the US.
We are here.
Yes.
We are all here when, of course, the law on cybercrime came.
Yeah.
And you will still find some people castigating such laws. There are laws that call some of these people to order.
Yeah.
We castigate them. But before we go into castigation, you know, of policies of government, let me go to Dr. Olorunfemi. Dr. Olorunfemi, don't you think there's a lacuna in that part of our constitution that gives freedom to association? Don't you think that is part of the main problem that we are facing? Because I feel that
I don't think so.
To join, no, let me.
Okay, please land here.
Now I have freedom to join an association, so I want to join an association, and I don't care whatever happens there. Don't forget, in this same freedom of association, you see pepper grinders lament that they don't want to be part of association because of the tax, you know, being levied on them by their association leaders. And they force them, take away their grinding machine, and nobody does anything. Yet, some people will join groups that end up becoming terrorist groups, killing people and destroying property, even national assets.
Well, it's not the constitutional right to form an association that's the problem. All this unlawful association we're talking about, are they registered? Are they known by the government? You get what I'm saying? What we mentioned about the millers, those selling pepper and their association, they formed their association by themselves. And I don't think, you know, those who are grinding, why is it that many of them is when they say do this, they protest, but when they are benefiting from the association, and that's not a terrorist group, some of them are registered. I even registered on behalf of some of them. You get what I'm saying? Some would have benefited, some will even obtain loan, soft loan from the association. They will not want to pay back. You get it? I instruct that, look, if you have to go, don't go and quarrel with the people. That's why if somebody is coming to obtain money, make sure there's a guarantor. If you have to go, there's a way you win people to become members. And there are rules of the game. How much did they contribute? That's not even an issue. All these criminals, all these bandits that we're talking about, are they lawful association? Is the association a legal one? Is the association accredited by Nigerian nation? That's the question.
Dr. Olorunfemi, we're talking about more recruits and how they've been brainwashed. Just like
Okay, yes.
Said. I want us to look at the importance of education now.
Yeah.
And the lacuna it has had.
Yes, look at, I think there's something.
Do you think we should put a policy in place where we make basic education
compulsory.
I
think that one is even in the Constitution. It's even in the Constitution that even everyone.
It's in the child's right law.
Yes. Even that everyone, at least, even government should sponsor.
But we are not enforcing it.
We are not enforcing it.
Let
me tell you, I school in the north. I school in the north. Excuse me. I school partly in the north.
How did you school
in the north? I was at Federal Government College, Kaduna, Malali.
And what was the experience like?
Let me tell you, you see many people, not only the northerners, many southerners who are there, that you call at Manjiri, they are not working. You get it now? You see, brainwashing comes into the life of people who don't even think. They don't have their own thinking faculty. They have the organ of thinking, but they are not making use of it. So whatever that comes in is one that they accept. You know, the art is tabula rasa. It's whatever that is plain. It's whatever that you put in it that stays there. That's exactly what is happening to them. You get it now? You see them everywhere. You see them. You look at, even in Sabo, they are there. When you go and eat, they are the one who come. Even if you don't have any food remaining, if it's just little, they will come and, you know what I mean? It's not just poverty.
Why were they groomed, trained that way?
Because,
you know, just as I said, education.
Education. Then apart from it, they take advantage. Those who take advantage of them are the so-called clerics, what we call afars, who teach them in Kewu and the rest of them. And those ones too are vulnerable. They are not educated. The little education they will have is probably in Islam.
Language, no, Arabic.
Not even Arabic, in Islam.
Really?
Yes. And they will give that half education to them. You can imagine, is it in the Quran? I'm sorry, I'm not being religious now. Is it in the Quran that you should keep people, then they give you a number of virgins?
Some clerics have said it's not true.
It's not. It's not. I did religion in the Semitic world. That is the origin of Islam up to university level. There's nowhere, even Christianity, you know, influence Islamism.
Now, how can we, as we wrap up this segment, how can we begin to correct these abnormalities? Is there already? You have given us an analysis. Oh, it starts from the cleric. Now, I think at the local government level, somebody should begin to check some of these leaders, religious leaders misleading. Because as much as we have brainwashing in, you know, the Islamic setting, we also have in the Christian setting. Yeah. You see some people saying you take some people to church before they can become, you want to chase out evil spirits, they beat them to stupor.
Is that in the Bible?
That's the point I'm making. Now, so one feels that there should be a segment of government that will regulate religious activities and put some of this attitude, this bad behavior to check so that we can have a sane society. Now that we have identified that it's majorly part of the source of our insecurity.
I think those in the fourth estate of the realm, yes, it's your duty to do it more. Yeah, it's your duty, I mean, to educate the masses, yes, via the media. You get it? Bring in people who are enlightened.
That's what we're doing. That's
yes, you know, done. No, you've not done it enough. You get it? Let them know what it is. What the scripture says about casting out demons. Mark chapter 16, 17. He said, this is the sign that shall follow them that believe. In my name shall you cast out demons. He didn't say you should go and find Cain and begin to beat people.
That's the they have been able to give it.
And the people who do that should be arrested. Who are beating.
Let's quickly go.
That's why the police is there. But the police, are they doing what they are supposed to do?
Let's go to Dr. Okola. Dr. Okola, what's your take on that?
Well, all those solutions you are, providing, they're good. But Nigeria's problem is deeper than that. It's deeper than that. We have well over 300,000 police officers in Nigeria to police about 200 million people. That's one to about 300, one police to 300 people. Even a ghost will cannot do that. While in some other advanced nations, you have, 1 to 15. The last I checked in Britain is 1 to 8. You understand? And out of that 300,000, we got to know that about 200,000 of them are attached to the politicians and the elites, leaving just 100,000. And the government is saying they should recruit 20,000 more. So I don't know what that will do. But if you want to get to the root of this problem, there are two main things that I feel the government should do. Number one, the agencies that are saddled with the responsibilities of getting intelligence, for security structures in Nigeria should be empowered more by the government. And we have so many of them. We have National Intelligence Agency, Department of State Service, we have the Defense Intelligence Agency, we have the Nigerian Financial Intelligence, and others. All of them couldn't have been sleeping. And like the lawyer just said, we are getting intelligence, but we are not acting on those credible intelligences, and that is the problem. So the government must empower those intelligence